Les McEwen wrote the book Predictable Success, where in the book he documented the 7 stages that companies go through. Stage 1, he called early struggle. This was where a company was just trying to find the customer, trying to figure out, is this really going to be a business? Once that gets established, you enter the phase called fun, where it's really some of the stories about the companies are really created, of how the company got started, how customers came to the door, and so on. That fun stage where it's easy to get customers, it's easy to get business. Then you enter this stage called Whitewater, where even though it was fun, you begin having all kinds of issues come up because processes aren't in place. You don't have the people you need. You don't have the management structures. You don't have the sales processes and so on. And so it gets pretty difficult until you get those in place, and you can then create what he called predictable success. But if you over-process, if you over-orient, over-create these things, you can be getting on a treadmill where the passion is lost out of the company, which can then lead to the big rut and eventually the death rattle. Well, by 2015, we realized we had entered Whitewater. See, we had been growing at a significant pace. We had. But in 2015, for the first time in the history of the company, we had a reduction in revenue without an external cause. There was no recession. There was no Great Recession. We just dropped in revenue. We were in Whitewater, no question. Well, it was pretty clear. We needed investments in areas to help us get over the hump. We needed people, we needed marketing, we needed sales, we needed processes, systems, and infrastructure. We needed to make those investments in order to get over the hump. So we began doing that. Unfortunately, we made the investments, but guess what happened with profitability? Because the growth wasn't coming. So in 2014, we had a banner year with 9.3% of our revenues turning to profits. But in the period that followed, we went from 1.1% to 2.4 to 1.7 to actually losing money in 2018. Over the course of those 5 years, we'd literally become an unintentional nonprofit. Well, going back then, after Whitewater and the fall in 2015, we rose for 2 years. And then we had a real incident happen that had a significant impact on the company. We call it the fraud case. This is where we had a very talented salesperson who actually sold a $150,000 engagement to one of the largest and most well-known technology companies in the country. Well, that got followed by a $1.4 million sale, which, as it turns out, was not a sale at all. He had falsified invoices and POs that not only ruined the client relationship, but also the company lost significant dollars as a result of that. Perhaps needless to say, the salesperson is in jail today, but the impact on the company was significant. Well, from there, we also began growing once more until 2020, COVID-19 hit, and once more had a reduction. But because of all the lessons we had learned along the way, we were able quickly to reestablish profitability and get where we wanted to go. Well, thriving wasn't easy, let me tell you, just to be clear. But we had great people doing some great things. We created virtual editions of our most popular courses, the Effective Facilitator Virtual Edition, the Facilitative Consultant Virtual Edition. Up to that point, perhaps 2, maybe 3% of our revenues were coming from virtual work that we were doing for clients. Once the pandemic happened, that quickly became 95, 97% of the work we were doing was happening virtually. We worked with our core team and together created new courses, things like From Classroom to Virtual, how training organization can convert their classes to virtual. Advanced strategies for virtual engagement using Zoom and using Teams, virtual meeting series and how to run basic virtual meetings and advanced skills in that. Our messaging with marketing completely changed, where we were focused on world-class training whenever, wherever you want, helping you really adjust to this virtual environment. And our sales team, they went wherever the business was. At that point in time, it was government became a real big business for us as we focused our resources there and then in other areas. But there was one additional major learning from the pandemic, and one that is carrying us forward very, very well. Recall we had become an unintentional nonprofit, and we moved to intentional profitability. As you can see, with 5.5% profit in 2021, and this year, 7.5% profit. So yeah, what caused the change? How come we're more profitable now? Well, we changed our philosophy from investing, hoping for growth and profitability, i.e., investing in hopes that the profitability would come and the growth would come. But when the growth didn't come, profits went down. We changed that philosophy to only investing dollars based on the prior quarter's profits. So we're only investing dollars once we had them. I know that sounds obvious, but for a company that was looking to grow, we were really focused on investing in advance. But this idea of investing only after we made money has made a significant difference. And so our plan for the future, of course, we want to continue learning and managing profitable growth every step of the way.